Good morning, Carolyn J. Carpenter here with Hollywood Gatekeepers. Today, excuse me, we are going to talk about, is being a reader right for me if? So we get this a lot in our MasterClass, which we've been doing, and it's been so fun. We've got one more, we call it closing night. Because it is for us, we do the same masterclass several times to allow people dates to choose from. And then, so it is like opening night and today's closing night. Woohoo! Yeah. But it is bittersweet because what happens is we close up the masterclass and then we have a program that people can enroll into and we just dive right into that. And we'll still be doing lives every week as well, but in here. So you can still check all that out. We have tons of free programs all the time, but we also have our paid course and people dive into that, and we dive in after the master classes are over and we start really diving in with those students that know that this is something that they want to pursue wholeheartedly. They're in all the way, and we get started with that. So today, some of the questions that we get during the master class are things like, is this right for me if I am retired? Is this right for me if I'm a student? Is this right for me if I'm super tall? You don't get that one. But the reason that I always throw that one in there is because nobody asked that. But the answer to the other questions would be the same, in that it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are within child labor laws, and it doesn't matter how tall you are. And another one is this right for me if I live in Iowa or in Nebraska or not in LA, basically. So a lot of people think that you have to live in LA to be a reader. Just not the case anymore. So we get that, start of a sentence. And so we actually we have a whole section that this is right for you if, and then we go through all the things that, so you can kind of see, is this something that's right for you? So in the masterclass, we dive into the kind of more concrete reasons of why it would or wouldn't be right for someone. But these are but no one asks those. Like we dive into kind of the deeper things about the nuances of working from home, the nuances of making your own schedule, which is what you'll be doing. So we cover all that in really deep detail within the masterclass. And so, but we still get the more generalized question is like, people really think that they're too old to do it. That's a big one that we get a lot, is like, what if I'm too old? What if I just can't get started at this point in my life? And the thing about that is, for being a reader, is that your job as a reader is to read screenplays and write coverage. Analyze that screenplay, write the coverage, and send it off. No one even sees you. No one really knows how old you are. The only way that you would tip your hat into how old you are is if your whole cover just talked about how the first Star is Born was way better than the last Star is Born, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if you took your coverage and you used it to constantly talk about the good old days of Hollywood, or even how great things were in the 80s, and if only they could be that way again, that you need to be present in terms of what's happening in the industry, what's happening in movies, know what movies are, know what's on Netflix, kind of be aware. That's one of the things that, is this right for you if you love to watch movies? Because you need to be up on what's happening in the world. You need to really be aware and know who actors are and know who directors are, and just be kind of in the world that you are planning to create your career. I don't think it's really all that much to ask that you kind of know, the world that you're wanting to dive into. So that's more of the issue than how old you are. And the same holds true when people say, is anyone going to take me seriously? I'm super young. I'm in college right now. And it's like, well, as long as you know movies that are before, 2015, you should be okay. As long as you do know that there's more than one Star is Born, as long as you are able to speak to the idea that, movies have been around for a really long time. And so in our programs, we actually cover the hierarchy of Hollywood and how the systems have changed and who started what and how the studio system came to be and why was Sundance created? How did the independent film movement start? Like, we give you the history of cinema so that you can really understand what you're diving into. It's kind of like School of Rock. One of my favorite movies. Did you ever see that movie? He doesn't just show them how to play guitar. He introduces them to music. That's the beauty of that movie, is that his love of music is just everywhere. And that's what makes it so special, that these kids get connected to something that was long before they even had an understanding of music. And they can see how a musical artist of today reflects a musical artist of 1940. Like, they're 1950, 1960, it's so important. And that's what we try to do in our programs. That's what we want to do here. We want you to have a love of movies. We want you to be that guy that's quoting movies all the time. We want you to be that person that knows, the difference between one film to a next, that knows different genres, that knows, how movies relate to each other, how two movies might be the same movie in different genres. Like, there's so many nuances to film and to cinema and to storytelling, and that's where the reader steps in. With that knowledge of film, you can then take a screenplay, and you wouldn't necessarily in a screenplay go, this movie's like this, not like that, and you don't really, I'm really against actually comparing movies comparing unproduced movies to movies that are produced in a coverage. I think it's great in a pitch. I think it works well when you're trying to get across to somebody in just like a few seconds, but you want to be treating that screenplay with such reverence that it's like, this is what this story is about, and it's unique in itself, and it has, these elements, and it's so fantastic. And you want to really be holding up and standing for that writer and really saying, this is a unique story. Here's the places that can, improve. And here's the places that are really spectacular that you don't see anywhere else. And you're just that person that takes that writer's voice and you turned it into a masterpiece. You're that person where the writer gets your coverage and they go, oh my goodness, I see how I can make this script better. It's going to be so fantastic. I can't wait to start writing again. They don't ever want to get your coverage and be like, why am I even doing this? What the heck? I'm just going to go back to my day job, my investor, as I call it, back to my day job. Your day job, just going to throw this in here. I'm always going to throw this in here. Your day job is your investor in your artistry. So if you have a day job that you can't stand, you have that job to provide security so that you can write. So if you feel that you can't make a living as a writer just now and you have a day job that's holding you steady, don't hate the day job. Love the day job. Throw some love on that day job, because it's the thing. It's the investor into the career that you actually want. So walk that line rather than sitting in hate and despondence. Sit in love and respect for the job that you have that's allowing you to do the thing that you want to do on the side. So, and then as you build that, the tides will shift. And so these are the things that, it's right for you. If this resonates with you at all, any of the things that I'm saying, then being a reader is right for you. So you can figure out how you want to go ahead and implement that. And if you want to get more information about how to do that, just come on into the masterclass. HollywoodGatekeepers.com/masterclass. You can join us. We have the last one today at noon Pacific time. That's October 7th on a Wednesday. If you're watching this and it's some other day, you can still click on the link and it will take you to whenever the next masterclass is. It will show you when the next dates are coming. We don't have any more planned for 2020, so it will get you on a list, and then you'll be able to get notified the minute that we have another one coming. So join us, because it's the last one for 2020. We're super excited. This has been such an honor, and let's stick together. Figure out ways to work from home. We give a whole download that you get to take home that tells you how to work from home. It's like we give away a ton of tools so that you have how to work from home. You have a screenplay, you have a coverage template, you know what to do by the end of the class. All right, we will talk to you in the masterclass. Thanks, you guys.